we have to
Beer.
is
Beer.
itself.
Beer. So many choices.
Only no function beer well without.
Woohoo! Beer! Hello and welcome to another episode of Beer Busters. We're going to bring you the news and reviews of your favorite brews. I am Dan Baker, joined by my co-host and brewologist,
Steph Hefner.
and of course the demented and fermented
Wayne Baker.
Man, it feels like forever since we've done this. It's been a while. To you listening to this right now, we apologize for the gap. Summer happened, life happened. You know, things happen. We're still here. We got you. We're still going to do this, and I hope that you're along for the ride as well. We have you've already seen the title of the episode. Like, I don't know why I'm going to tease it. You can take the guy out of the radio. You can't take the radio out of the guy. Nobody say anything about that. But as I'm sure you've seen on your phone and your podcast platform of choice, we're talking to some folks from Chatty Monks today. Now, this is a very long time in the making because, the three of us that are the Beer Busters, we're from the Reading area, and somehow we've never had anybody on from Chatty Monks. And, well, it is about damn time. So, joining us, we have a couple of folks who were very kind enough to donate some time, and I'm very excited to talk to every single one of them, and it's going to be an amazing time. We have joining us...
Hi, I'm Davy Jagadisan. We're part of the new Chatty Monks. Maybe that's why you didn't have us on before. But I'm one of the owners and the marketing and sales director of Chatty Monks.
My name is Ryan. I'm marketing associate and events activation at Chatty Monks.
All right. And then, last but certainly not least...
That would be me.
That would be you.
That's John.
Yeah, that's John. You know him. He's been on the show.
You've
100
heard
times.
John before.
Well, to all of you, thank you for taking the time to talk to us tonight, and I'm very happy to be doing this. And yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff that we're gonna cover. But thank you.
Yeah, of course. This is awesome. Thanks for having us on your platform.
Oh, definitely.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, if we can get the housekeeping out of the way, you find us on the internet besides where you're already listening to us. Twitter and Instagram, Beer Busters. Facebook, we're Beer Busters Podcast. There's beerbusterspodcast.com. Don't forget to add /shop so you can buy the cool stuff that Wayne designed.
Buy some merch.
Yeah, there's YouTube, more of Wayne's work. You get to see the Happy Fun Time games that are cut up and edited very well, and it's like a legit game show.
Yeah, sort of, kind of.
Yeah. I like it. It works. And then, of course, patreon.com/beerbusters, where you can get yourself access to things like Last Call and, a special behind-the-scenes feed on the Patreon app and all that good stuff. For as little as $1 a month, you can unlock all the goodies and the madness.
Don't forget to check us out on all those website locations. I feel like this is the first time in a while we don't have like an event or anything to promote at the beginning of the show.
True.
I kept feeling like we were forgetting something because we've had a lot going on this past summer and now things are starting to wind down. So, yeah, just follow us on the internet. We don't really have any other announcements.
There she made the appearance after all. Of course, Brandolyn is with John, and she just waved at us. Hi, Brandolyn. Hi, Brandolyn.
Hi, Brandolyn. She looks so happy. She looks so happy.
To be fair, she always does. She's a very energetic person.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
If I was sitting by that fire where they are, I'd be happy too.
That's
pretty
true.
nice.
That's true. Yeah. Phoning in all the way from Asheville, North Carolina. Just got there, apparently.
Yep.
We make it work, right?
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
the beauty of Zoom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The internet is a wonderful and terrible thing sometimes, but mostly wonderful.
Yeah.
But we do have a lot that we're going to get through, and Davey, like you said, you're part of the new Chatty Monks. So there is some history that is involved with Chatty Monks and into the new chapter that is Chatty Monks. So I guess let's start there, if you don't mind. Why Chatty Monks? How did this happen? When did you land on owning a brewery in Reading, Pennsylvania?
We really like beer.
I love that answer.
It's for starters. No, I went to school at Xavier University in Cincinnati, Ohio, and there's a big craft brewery scene there. And even just, a block away from my campus was Listerman's Brewing. Mad Tree is where I held my first business pitch competition. And Rheingeist was also just a fun place to hang out. And then a lot of my studies, even in the business school, was focused on the craft beer market. And so it always intrigued me. And when my family, specifically my father, would come out and visit, that was our market research. And we knew we wanted to do it. And during the pandemic, Chatty Monks in Reading, Pennsylvania came for sale. And we just said, let's go for it. It was very risky, but it was also, I think one of the best decisions we've ever made as a family. And I knew with like my creativity and, my father's support, there was different things that we could do to be a part of this community. Chatty Monks before was established by some great people, in a small area that really kind of revived the small businesses in West Reading, Pennsylvania. But they were done with the project, and that's totally okay. There are other businessmen that they have other stuff to do. It used to be Chatty Monks Chew, Chant, Chill, and now our parent company is EDL Consolidated, which stands for Eat, Drink, Love. So the new Chatty Monks is Chatty Monks Eat, Drink, Love, and it is really focused on building our community and the initiatives and the stories that we care about, which we tell through our beers. And John really aligned with that mission, and that's why he's here on board. Thank goodness, the real MVP of Chatty Monks. Awesome brewer, awesome recipes, but also really aligns with the beliefs and the things that we want to do to better the area and beyond. We have a great vision. We have a great team. Ryan, we call him Kid Genius because he is. He's great at social media. He's great at events. And we're starting to see this new mission take form and really engage the community through our empathy is how I describe it.
I think if we could go back in the reels, I'm pretty sure there was an episode where we very heavily encouraged John Stemler to open a tap room in Reading, Pennsylvania.
I think so.
So I kind of think Beer Busters needs to take partial credit for this. But John, tell us your side. How did you get attracted to this project?
Well, I had taken a break from Free Will last year, and around about the same time, the former owners approached me about looking for a brewer to replace their current brewer at the time, who was going back to his old life, I believe, of insurance. And I was like, well, I can help you. You start, getting the paperwork together to look for a brewer. And he's, well, to be more frank, we're actually looking to sell the business, and to execute the sale, we need to have somebody in place to make the beer. And without this person, it could jeopardize the sale. So I said, okay, well, then I'm going on sabbatical. So technically, I guess you could use me, put my name down, and I can, keep it fulfilled while we get all the stuff together. And they said, okay, well, we need to run it by Raj first. So Raj gave me a call, and we talked for about an hour and a half and hit it off, and then started the project of, getting the thing ready and keeping the beer going. And we just sort of got along really well, and the project became more and more and more until here I am.
John came on as a consultant originally. So that was pretty cool that he decided to stick around.
No, and as someone who lives in the Reading area, I was quite excited about this turn of events in John's career because, we've known John for a long time, and I've consumed a lot of beer made by John. And so the last time I was at Chatty Monks, I was really excited to see that the beer menu is, of course, a nod to the staples that people have come to know and love from Chatty Monks from the beginning, but there's a lot of new beers on there as well. And I was especially excited to see the light lager and the lager. And I'm currently drinking the light lager because I think, as our listeners have heard me say to death, I love drinking lagers. So was that purposeful when you guys were working with, I guess, the beer and the food menu to sort of keep some of the things that were there and that people enjoyed, but also bring a new twist and some new things as well?
So out of all the brewers that we interviewed, John is the only one that said he was going to brew a light lager. I don't know
You're
what
hired.
it is about the yeah. No, and that was important because my dad and I go out a lot. We talk to a lot of people, and a lot of people were intimidated by trying craft beer because they would go into a brewery and it would be all these like hoppy IPAs, something that they weren't used to. They would want their Miller Lite, they would want their Coors Light. And for business, you need a light beer. And John was the only one. And it's a good beer.
Mm-hmm.
But then he also makes some really experimental stuff. I mean, John's known for his sours, his imperial stouts. We're doing all those. And we're not getting rid of the traditional beers, the Endo. We're not getting rid of like any of the IPAs that made it a success. But we're also going with what the community and the customers want, while also taking our creativity and bringing light to new beers, specifically Hey Bay Rosé. I'm a big rosé wine drinker. I had to have a beer that was mimicked after rosé wine, but it's still a beer. And like, that's what I appreciate about John is like, I say, John, I want this. How do we make this happen? And not only will he just go and do it, he will coach me through the process. I mean, I'm not a scientist. Brewing is a science. And so, we know that there has been a lot of forms of sexism in the craft beer industry. And John includes me in everything that he does. And I like to think I do the same with him. And so it's just this collaborative effort. And I think that's what is going to make this business thrive, is like we are all a team and everyone has input. And that's how the business was always supposed to be set up. It's supposed to be the employees having a say in this vision and this new Chatty Monks. And we do try to tie all these different initiatives and stories with our beer, because you know what? My beer story started with Natty Light. So we have the light beer. Yep. I have my experiences in college with.
Wait, why didn't you call it Chatty Light?
Oh,
okay, because John taught me brewery ethics. We don't take names, and there is Chatty Light in Tennessee. So our name is Chatty Premium Light, and then there's the Chatty Premium Lager. So, I mean, I think for short, we can go with Chatty Light, but...
It could be the unofficial name.
Yeah, well, I mean, Natty Light's an unofficial name. True. It's a nickname anyway.
So. Exactly, exactly.
It's the same thing.
So, consumers, call it what you want.
Yeah, I mean, that idea was just too good that it couldn't have already been... somebody had to have already done Chatty Light.
Right,
It's just too perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we also have a beer called Perfect in PA, so...
Oh, even better.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
No, I like that you're willing to do that light lager, and I like that was the standout thing, because it's it's a weird time for the beer industry overall, because people are, we had a guest a while ago who said the future of beer is not beer, and while obviously this is still beer, even myself, I find myself gravitating towards if I really want to take the edge off, I go for bourbon or a cocktail or something. But I really like those light lagers. I really like the beers that are easy to drink. They have the flavor. They're nice and refreshing. Can sit outside and have a couple of them and be okay. Plus, you have the people who their uncle wants to go out for dinner with them somewhere, and you stop at a brewery and they say, well, what beer is Natty Light but with more flavor, or what's the closest to a macro that you have? And it's a good thing to have on hand, and it's a beer that I feel like everybody who drinks beer can appreciate.
Absolutely. Yeah. Right. And that's what we wanted to do. And I think even on the restaurant side of things, we didn't get rid of the staple items like the monk egg rolls and some of the cheese dips and things like that. We still have bar, comfort food, pub food, but our background is in food manufacturing, specifically Indian food. And the first brand that I started with my father before I went to college was called Sambar Kitchen. It was, at the time I was recruited as a student athlete. I was going on all these visits, and the cafeteria had no vegetarian food. They had nothing with flavor or culture, for that matter. Mm-hmm. So our whole thing with Sambar Kitchen has been trying to make Indian food less intimidating, but inviting people to the table. And so this whole new menu at Chatty Monks, when you go to our location in West Reading, Pennsylvania, is all Indian bar fusion, and just fusion recipes in general. We're going to start having guest chefs, and we actually did have our first guest chef, and she's not from another restaurant. She's actually in-house. She's one of the kitchen workers, and she's Jamaican. And so for our taproom yoga, our second taproom yoga ever, she cooked a traditional meal, and she'll probably be doing that for all the taproom yogas. We'll probably do catered dinners where you have to buy tickets for them. We have a guest chef that is sharing their Thai culture. And so it's, for us, again, it's about bringing these communities together, but also having a diverse representation in our pub as part of our mission and our company. And I think that's just something that, well, at least we don't get to see a lot in our area, or we don't see a lot of people wanting to try something without it being, inviting them in. And that's what we're doing. So it's really exciting. And I've gotten to meet a lot of new people that I get to learn a lot about different beers and alcohol, but also different foods. And that's really exciting for me in this new chapter of my life.
Very cool. I think that the focus on food and Indian fusion bar, that sounds really amazing. And I'm really excited to check out what that involves. But just seeing, Dan and I are originally from the Reading area. We're currently in Philadelphia. But when we get back there, every so often to see West Reading just, I mean, it started when I still lived there. When Chatty Monks first opened, was a part of the big wave,
Right.
And the Barley Mow, and now Broken Chairs there. Oak Brook's not too far away, and all that. But yeah, bringing in this sort of a more diverse cultural influence to West Reading, I think, is just amazing and awesome to see. And it's cool to see my hometown just becoming so much cooler, and you guys being a part of that. That's really cool.
We just got a Greek restaurant, I heard, that opened in West Reading too.
Whoa.
So I'm excited
Nice.
to
That's
try
cool.
that out.
Very cool.
Right
I did
next
wanna-
to us.
Oh,
Is
wow.
it right next to you? Oh, perfect.
Yeah, Mozzie, and he owns 2 other restaurants, Willoughby's and Hitching Post. And actually, we're good friends with the owner, George. His actual father was the only one for my parents' wedding. They had 2 weddings, a Catholic wedding and an Indian wedding, or I should say Hindu wedding. They were the only location at their original Hitching Post years ago, which used to be an old barn. They were the only ones that allowed them to have outdoor catering, so they could bring the Indian food into their venue. And so George, as a child, remembers that wedding. And so when my dad and him crossed paths ago, when he reopened the Hitching Post, he was like, yeah, I remember this Indian couple that got married when I was younger. And my father said it was like the best wedding he's ever been to. And he goes, George, that was our wedding. So yes, it's really awesome being neighbors with him. The Avenue is just taking this community by storm with all of its art, its new like health initiatives, new yoga studios, like new juice bars and things like that. And then obviously the Drexel Med branch. And we do a lot of collaborations on the Avenue. The yoga studio, Double Sunrise, comes to Chatty Monks for taproom yoga. The art room does arts and crafts at Chatty Monks, or we go there and do beer samples and things like that. So yeah, it's been a really great experience just becoming a part of the Penn Avenue family.
I really love the nachos with the tamarind sauce and
The chat nachos.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, they are so amazing! Like bringing together 2 of the best things ever: Indian food and nachos. It's genius.
When are we getting those Thai
Thank you.
chili fries?
Oh my
Thai
God.
chili fries.
That was a mistake. And I am so happy that it happened. I can't stop thinking about them. 'Cause I mentioned it from another restaurant. And then all of a sudden, Chef Nate, he comes out of nowhere with these Thai chili fries. And I'm like, oh my God, this is why I don't actually ever get to run in the evenings, because I'm sitting here eating fries and I'm drinking beer. And it's like the best time of my life. And they're so good. We'll bring them. But, yeah, we have a couple different French fries that are available on the menu right now. Eggplant fries, masala fries, and we also have a lot of gluten-free and vegan options that we're trying to have something for everyone. We're going to be building a gluten-free facility so that our beers, when we make our gluten-free beer and we make our seltzer,
cool.
It's not cross-contaminating with gluten. And we do that actually at our food manufacturing facility. There's no meat in our facility. There's no fish. And we do that because a lot of the Indian community is vegetarian, and we don't want to, run the risk of cross-contamination. So we only produce things that are vegetarian. And then it's really important for us because we see a lot more people with celiac disease. We see a lot more vegans popping up in the area. And if you go to any big city, like those options are always available. They're always marked on the menu. It's time for Berks County to hop on board.
Yeah, definitely.
Amen.
Yeah.
I feel like we should talk to Ryan.
I
I
was
was
just
thinking
going to
that
say
too.
the
Yep.
same thing. Ryan hasn't said a whole lot.
Kid Genius
Hi, Ryan.
has a lot to say. So
All right.
let's go
I'm
for
sure
it.
he does. Well,
I'm
Ryan,
all out, guys.
why don't you just give us a little backstory about how you came to be involved in the Chatty Monks project?
Yeah, so actually, what's pretty neat and not everybody knows is I'm a senior in high school right now. So
Oh.
this is technically my school internship. So because of this, I don't have to go to school for another 2 periods. So
It's a
deal.
pretty cool thing that'll take you out of school for a couple
Yeah.
periods.
but for probably the last 2 years, I'm 17. So probably for the last 2 years, I've been doing a lot of marketing, social media, and digital. I actually started my own clothing brand coming up on 2 years ago with 2 others. So a lot of the work that I was doing there really translated when I reached out to Raj and Davey and kind of thought about, hey, like I'm trying to do an internship. I'm trying to do something that's going to give me a little bit more than a traditional internship. And when I had my first meeting with Davey, I kind of showed her all the things that I was doing. And she was like, well, you can kind of take over some of our social media with Chatty Monks and also with Sambar Kitchen and with another business that we're also part of. So it was just really good. It's been really good. I've been working with them for 2 months now, and it has been it's just been so fun. There's been so many new opportunities, and it's just really neat. It's really neat to see this kind of business. Like I said, I had my own business. I kind of knew that structure, e-commerce, clothing brand. It's really neat to see these other types of businesses and how they work and how to market them and really the people that are interacting with them. It's been really neat. It's been a really fun opportunity.
Very cool. I have a question.
He's teaching me.
Yeah, I can imagine. That's half a joke, but half serious.
It's 100% serious.
How is it marketing a product that you yourself cannot consume? Is that a challenge?
Yes. So I've had many talks with people, and they're like, "So you do the marketing for a brewery?" And I'm like, "Yes." It's tough, but I think that's also what's neat is not like, as somebody who does marketing, it's not all the time that you're going to be able to use the product or you're going to be able to, be around the product. And it's neat when you have that challenge where you have to market on just from other people's descriptions of it. And I think that's a neat challenge that has kind of come about with this whole thing.
Yeah, it makes sense. You don't have your own bias that gets involved then, one way or another.
Yeah.
Well, I think also, again, going back to John and his mentorship and his years of expertise in this industry, we try to do what we can to, send him to the hops farm, have time with John, that he's understanding it as, a science thing. And, I'll do my best to kind of educate him on where we can, but what we're also trying to sell, and where Ryan knows how to do this because he's done it with his own business, Basecamp, is he knows how to sell a brand. And so do I. And what we are trying to sell is a brand. Not only does John make a great product, quality product, but we're selling a vision, we're selling a mission. And so that's where Ryan's expertise comes in on the digital marketing side. But now he's learning that even if the internet disappeared tomorrow, traditional marketing and community and shaking someone's hand in person is never going to go away. Yeah. And he sees also some of the things that I deeply care about on my advocacy side of work things and my writing. He sees how we're weaving that in to create a story, to create a narrative of this Chatty Monks brand. Yes, there was another narrative under the old ownerships, and now we're paving our own. And I'm very big into storytelling marketing, and I know Ryan is too, and I hope that he's learning a lot more from how to start from almost scratch, or basically take something that was something at one point and make it your own. And I want beers named after everyone. I want a beer named after Kid Genius. I have a beer named after my best friend Alondra because she likes Guinness, and I said, no, you're gonna like Chatty Monks Dry Irish Stout, and it's gonna be your name, and that's her new favorite beer. So yeah, one thing Ryan, go ahead and talk about what we're doing.
One thing I just kind of want to add as well is what's been really neat is with my brand before, it's been taking pretty much nothing and turning it into something. And it's been really neat to get into Chatty Monks at such a neat time because we're going through this transition phase. Wow. Can't talk today.
And we're the ones drinking beer over here.
But it's been neat to kind of see this process, and it's been a lot of kind of rebranding and just some of the different things that we're trying to get out there. So like she said, taking something that had a following, had a name to it, had a background to it, and kind of developing that into what we want. And I think that's really, really neat. Some different ways that we're doing that some things we have that we're coming up with also. One of the big things that we've done already and we're still continuing to do is a lot of giving back within the community. You guys are familiar with West Reading. West Reading has tons of stores, tons of places that we can connect with, that we can partner with, do many different events. So one of the things that we've started up, and Davey briefly mentioned this, is Taproom Moods, Taproom Yoga, same thing. We partner with Double Sunrise Yoga. We have a pop-up shop with Athleta, and we also have Orange Theory Fitness from Why Missing coming in. And it's just a neat event that we get people from the community to kind of come together. There's 4 different brands that were kind of all involved in that event. And it's really neat for people to come in and interact with all those different brands. Another thing that we're doing is we're giving back within the community. So we run Chanting for Charity, which is a promotional thing, kind of giving back percentage of the sales within our pub. And recently we just did Sacred Heart. I think that's running currently.
It's running right now. Yep. Sacred Heart Church.
26th. We're running that currently. We've done, Davey, remind me what we've done before. I can't remember.
We've done Safe Berks, which is the domestic violence shelter in Berks County. Next month, we are supporting Berks County's chapter of Girls on the Run, which is an educational organization that promotes health and fitness to young women and girls. And then what else?
You
Opportunity
partnered
House, the homeless shelter.
with Reading Pride last month.
Oh yeah, how could I forget Pride? Ryan, why are we forgetting Pride? What's going on with our brains tonight? You know what? It's Friday night. I'm sorry, guys. Ryan, talk about everything that we've done with Reading Pride, and the shows that have been going on at Chatty Monks.
We've had a performer in a drag show. I think it's twice now, right? Or once?
Yep.
Twice. We've had them in. We've also had the Reading Pride event in Reading. We've also sponsored that with Willow Creek, so we had some different events going on there. We had the Pride Crawl, which I wasn't a part of yet. I wasn't a part of that yet. But I remember
the Pride Crawl was a whole thing on the avenue, which was really awesome. And I was the first time that Chatty Monks under our ownership participated in it. That was packed, and that was a great time. And it was just an awesome way to get the community together. And I think obviously the West Reading organization is doing a lot more events as we grow and more businesses come to the avenue. So it was just a great day. And actually, Amy Vante, aka Chris Palini, is also like family to me because he's my partner's older brother. So that's been a great, also, again, family endeavor. We're very family oriented, if that didn't come across. But we love the Chanting for Charity program because it's more than just donating money to these causes. Like, we really try to actively involve them in the restaurant. One that we're in the process of planning is with the Olivet's Boys and Girls Club. This at Berks County was for this first time, what they say, since 2002. One of the students named Princess was the first one to win youth students of the Olivet's Boys and Girls Club chapter in the country. And so she's done amazing work for the Reading School District, trying to get menstrual items in the high school. And there's been a lot of pushback. And she really focuses on period poverty, and we're going to be throwing a party for her. It's going to be a princess party. And so that some of those things, like, even though the kids can't consume alcohol, and they shouldn't, we're still a restaurant. And I think it's just a good way to get families out and really enjoy what we're doing. We know that a few months ago, there was a Me Too wave through the craft beer industry. And that is an issue that holds close to my heart. And so with my advocacy work and my writing, my worlds kind of collided as far as craft beer. and the things that I do outside of this company. So we have a new beer coming out in October for Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and it's called I Survived the Narcissist. And it's going to be a campaign of different women in the alcohol and beer industry sharing their stories through healing. And the beer will be a cherry triple, and it's a triple Belgian. So it's going to be awesome. So I've been really fortunate to work with a bunch of amazing women that are going to be a part of this campaign and making this beer more than just a beer. It's a statement, and I'm really excited for that.
Is this beer going to be packaged also?
Yes. Yep.
Very cool.
So available in cans and on our taps. We also added 8 new taps. We didn't get to mention that.
Oh,
there was 8
no.
taps to start at Chatty Monks. Now there's 16.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Very nice.
So
Yeah.
if you're packaging beer, do you guys distribute it all, or is that going to be in the cards to distribute anywhere?
We self-distribute right now.
Okay.
So you can contact me or John, of course. But yeah, we will look at which distributor is the best fit for us. But right now, we really need to get the business back on its
Right.
feet. The pandemic really hurt Chatty Monks and every single restaurant and brewery in the area. But because they were already looking to sell, it was one of those things when they were in between brewers and whatnot. It was just a matter of, all right, let's hit the ground running. Let's make beer. Let's go to every restaurant in the area and like try to sell them kegs. And so I was sent to Nashville, 13-hour drive, got a canning machine from Living Waters Brewery. They're awesome. You should check them out in Nashville. Nashville's also just great city. And then that was brought back to Pennsylvania. So we're slowly and surely growing, and it's been a wild ride. I mean, the craziest time of my life, without a doubt. But that's just the craft beer industry, isn't it?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And the one thing we've said it to plenty of people, if you're, you this was your first time in the beer industry and in the beverage industry, right?
Well, I was a consumer first.
Well, yeah,
Of course.
but there's
Yes.
we said it plenty of
Yes, it
times,
was.
and Lord knows I'll say it again. There's so much camaraderie that is in the beer industry, and I'm sure you've already experienced that in just West Reading. But you're gonna find other people that own other breweries and work at other breweries who want you to succeed, and they want you to do well, because it's that rising tide lifts all. I probably butchered some of those words, but
absolutely.
yeah, the rising tide lifts them all up. And,
The rising ship floods the
Ocean.
basement. I don't know.
yeah,
Something like
but
that.
yeah, it's all
mean,
that.
I love Willow Creek. I love Oak Brook. Broken Chair has some awesome beers, and then the beer wall across the street brings in a bunch of different breweries from all over. So that's it. We have something going there in West Reading, Pennsylvania, without a doubt.
Yeah, definitely. And it's super cool. And you mentioned like the challenge of, just running any kind of business right now, particularly a service business, particularly food service and beverage, is super difficult. But having that obvious super focus on community involvement and, social issues, I think, not that you're doing it for the business purposes that you're doing because it's the right thing to do, but I think that gives you that sort of advantage in a tough time like this, where people are going to be more responsive to a business that feels like it's invested in the community and invested in important issues, rather than the McDonald's down the street, that's just like a cold corporation. So it's super cool to see you diving right into that sort of burgeoning West Reading community that's happening, and I think it's only going to lead to success.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's really important to know the stories of my employees and how we as a business, but also as people, can support them in their goals and their dreams. When I originally first wrote this business plan for a brewery back in college, I actually wrote it as a nonprofit brewery. That was because of the sake of the assignment for a nonprofit management class. But originally I wanted people who were undocumented or trying to get green cards in this country to come work at this brewery, and it would be like an incubator, and it would teach them about entrepreneurship, and we would partner with law firms and try to get them access to be entrepreneurs in this country. Not to say that's not where we're headed. It's not now. It's definitely not out of reach. Before I wrote that thinking it was just an assignment and something that would be cool to pursue one day. And now it's like, it's here, but it's also like, there's plenty of people within my community, plenty of people that are already within my company that have stories, that have goals. We have a brand new mural because, the art scene in West Reading is huge. We have a brand new mural done by local artist Tim Regal, but also our in-house bar manager, Morgan. And Morgan has a story, and Morgan has loyal customers that know her story. And it's, art is her first passion. She's a great bar manager, but she's also an amazing artist. And like with Vanessa, who catered our taproom moods, and then with Morgan, who's an artist, it's really important for me to showcase their talents and like give them the tools to succeed, whether it's with Chatty Monks or letting Chatty Monks be the catalyst for their success and their talents. And that's the way the company is set up. It's set up to hear our employees' input because we can't do this without each other. That's not how a business works. So not only is it just the right thing to do, it's good for business. And it's what's turning this business around. And that's been stressful. I mean, everyone has struggled during this pandemic financially. Now we just got to keep moving and keep doing what we need to do to get everyone back on their feet.
Yeah, it was interesting having the kind of the dual perspective during the pandemic of, being beer industry adjacent as the podcast, but also being a consumer and wanting my favorite breweries to succeed, especially around here, and favorite restaurants. Made a point to order from restaurants from the restaurant themselves, or like walk over and pick up food from them, or order delivery from Workhorse, and they were delivering down here, and some breweries in Philly, and it really goes to show that I think, not just community-wise, but I think consumer-wise, a lot of people really stepped up and put their money where they wanted it to go and where they wanted the businesses to succeed. And the ones that, were able to breathe a little better from it are now coming through. And I think it's a better place, but it's also it's been a wake-up call. You have to really figure out what is going to be your next move while also dealing with whatever changes may come. Because, I mean, everybody knows we don't want another pandemic to happen, but, what happens if there's another health crisis or, something happens and, you said the internet could disappear tomorrow and Ryan still got you covered. Well, if the internet disappears, there goes a lot of things. But, like, we don't know what's going to happen. So you can plan for a lot of things, but you still got to roll with whatever punches come your way. And I think the past year and a half really proved that to consumers and entrepreneurs alike.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. With that being said, we are hiring. So if you want to be a part of the new Chatty Monks team, hit us up. Also, Wayne, what are you drinking? What beer are you drinking?
We are drinking Post-Shift Pilsner from Jack's Abbey.
I thought you were drinking like Spotted Cow from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I got really excited.
Spotted Cow is so good.
No, just
Isn't it? Yeah.
Massachusetts. Yeah.
I'm going to open up Chatty Fest
All right.
in this beautifully branded crowler.
I love like the aftertaste of Chatty Fest. It'll be canned next week, by the way.
Awesome.
Steph.
Oh,
It'll
nice.
be canned next week because it's a Deer Creek collaboration. Oh, that's
nice.
the other thing.
Deer
We've been
Creek.
doing a bunch. We've been doing a bunch of collaborations with Deer Creek Malt House, and they've been great.
Yeah, we love Deer Creek. The products they're able to put into the beers that other brewers will buy from them, and even just like the people. Everyone there is awesome.
Yeah, Deer Creek's really cool. Yeah, I really like them.
Absolutely.
So, Steph, you'll have a real
that's
label
been
for that beer
amazing.
soon.
Yeah.
Right? I was going to get the crowlers out and post a picture on Instagram. And I'm like, maybe I'll wait till they have branded crowlers.
That being said, if anyone wants to help John can, let me know.
Yeah. I imagine you
So-
pay in beer if you come and help Can. You get some free beer.
We pay with money and beer. We're a business here.
I just know we've heard so many stories about breweries that invite the community to come in and help bottle/can, and they pay them in beer.
In this day and age, we compensate people.
That's awesome. I love that.
I remember when Chatty Monks first opened, and it was the teeny little brewing system in the basement. So I wanted to ask John when he was still here, but I'm sure you can answer this question. Talk about how the brewing system has changed and evolved. And I'm assuming the brewery must be off-site because that location is not that big in West Reading.
Yeah. So we're still in Reading, but we are on Lancaster Avenue on Carroll Street, off of Lancaster Avenue on Carroll Street.
Mm-hmm.
So right before you cross over on the bridge, there's a facility back there, and that's where we brew. That's where John hangs out. I would love to eventually turn that into a tap room when township gives us approval. So yeah, we bought actually the old system from Imprint Brewing, and they've been great. Ryan at Imprint has been awesome. Their beer is the craziest thing, and it's amazing. The cotton candy beer, it's just, they're doing awesome stuff. We have a bunch of new fermenters coming, and like I said, it's been very difficult because it's like we're growing really fast, but then it's been hard to get equipment. I know, like, you guys probably know this, but like sourcing, even just for cans, sourcing for any sort of materials, it's just such a waiting game. And that's where I think Ryan and I struggle sometimes on the marketing side of things. Is like, oh no, we need this now, so our campaign doesn't fall apart. And it's just like such an interesting time for not only this industry but every industry. Yeah, so we are working on every week trying to find affordable, bigger equipment. But Imprint really helped us out with that new brew house system, and their new equipment is something definitely go see too.
At least they're not in Tennessee, like you had to go for the canning line.
You know what? It was an excuse for more market research. I've learned that's the most important part of this business.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
that's wonderful. Now, I feel strange asking this question because I feel like the two of you are entrepreneurs at heart, and I feel like this is just the beginning. I mean, Ryan especially, but I think this is just the beginning of your journey and your life as entrepreneurs. But thinking specifically of Chatty Monks, what do you see the future? Do you see, I mean, you mentioned the tap room at the brew house. Do you see multiple locations, or do you see your brand? Do you see EDL, Eat, Drink, Love, like starting other beer brands or purchasing other beer brands and making it more than just Chatty Monks? What is your beer vision?
We're absolutely going to be growing into franchising and opening up more tap rooms. We are in the midst of trying to plan seasonal, semi-permanent beer gardens within the Pennsylvania area. And so not only that, when my dad is asked, "How are you doing, Raj?" when he walks into a bank, he goes, "I'm here, I'm happy." My dad is the real entrepreneur at heart, and he went and got that phrase trademarked. And I learned from him, like, just like the initiative we're doing in October, I Survived the Narcissist, I got that phrase trademarked. So I'm here, I'm happy is going to be a movement that's under EDL. And that's what Ryan is also working on. And it's going to be basically this platform where we share different hole-in-the-wall breweries, hole-in-the-wall bars and restaurants in different cities. And that is being fully fleshed out between mostly Ryan's the lead on that. But Chatty Monks will be Chatty Monks, and then hopefully more brands as we grow. But my goal right now in the next 5-6 years is to franchise it, open up a couple more tap rooms, and then really hit the ground running, start to travel like crazy and go explore these other amazing craft breweries. I mean, you guys, I don't need to tell you guys that craft breweries make up a huge percentage of the market. And there's a lot of great places and a lot like breweries build up communities. Like sometimes there's pushbacks in different towns because of, the apprehension of alcohol, and that's all valid. But I think some of the best breweries and the best experiences come from sitting at those wooden picnic tables, sharing a beer, sharing a soda, whatever, playing cornhole, and really just enjoying life. And I think that's what the I'm Here, I'm Happy movement is. It's just being in the present and being content with who you are and the people that you're with. So I'm really excited about that. But I also think that Ryan's journey as an entrepreneur is going to be like a roller coaster ride, just like mine has been. So I definitely want to I want to hear what he wants to do and what he envisions. And maybe we take more of his ideas because he's kid genius and execute them.
No, pretty much most of what she said is similar to what I have to say. I mean, it's been neat kind of joining a team, like a joining up into a vision already. Like they had something in mind with pretty much all the businesses that I'm a part of now. But it's neat to kind of come in and say, this is what I think it could look like down the road as far as the younger generations getting involved as well. I know one of the conversations I had with Raj just 2 days ago was about TikTok and about Reels. And as you guys know, TikTok and Reels right now is dominated by my generation. And I told him,
I was going to say, be careful, Ryan. We don't know. We're way older than you think we are.
That's a fair point. That's a very fair point.
But what I kind of want, I kind of was talking to him. I said, listen, like this is 5 years down the road. Like what we do now on TikTok and Reels is only going to pay off 5 years down the road. And I think what's going to be neat is incorporating my generation once they become of age and really start getting into everything with alcohol and beer and everything. It's going to be neat to have that brand name in their mind already. And I think that's what I really want to kind of drive home, especially since I am only 17. I can see from that, their perspective very, very easily. And I know that down the road, as soon as, or when I'm of age, the brands that I'm going to gravitate towards first are going to be the ones that I've seen and I know already. So my kind of goal for this is really to kind of join in what their vision is, but also bring in some of that newer marketing and newer generation and see how we can start targeting them in this whole vision. And I think social media is really going to kind of explode the brand. Yeah. I think both I'm Here, I'm Happy, Chatty Monks is going to, with all that we're doing, it's very, very good to have that out on social media. It's very good for people to be a part of that on social media and kind of build a community. Like she mentioned before, one of my main jobs with marketing my own brand is selling my brand message and selling my brand. So kind of translating that to Chatty Monks and to I'm Here, I'm Happy has been very, very fun because it is a different brand message and it's really neat to kind of market that.
Yeah, I like what you said about your generation when you come of age, because that's a point I don't think I would have looked at, says the older person that I am. But it's, when we turned 21, there weren't options. Dave, you said you started with Natty Light. We started with Yingling and, of course, the macros that are there. But now, Ryan, your generation is going to have almost too many options at times. So it's it's like a double-edged sword in a way. Like you can get anything you want, basically, but the problem is you can get anything you want. So you got to figure out, you got to pick and choose. So you mentioned, the brands that you know and you've already seen. Yeah, that's going to be huge. So to recognize that now, to figure out when you and your friends 4 or 5 years from now are of age and can actually start going out and buying and enjoying these products, that's, I think, really going to be a good competitive edge.
Yeah. Well, and attaching it to a message.
Yeah.
Because I think better. Now more than ever, it is important for, oh God, I can't believe I'm going to say it, but for young people to be aware of the brands that they're choosing to support. Yeah. We need to think about sustainability and taking care of our earth. We need to think about sexism and sexual abuse and Me Too. And, we want to support brands where they are owned by people that are, making ethically proper choices and that have the same morals that we do. I think it's bigger than even just recognizing a brand or knowing someone attached to a brand. But I think the choices that we make as consumers with products and with food and with beverages go deeper than that now. Now more than ever, we are passionate about our beliefs and our politics and our views. And I think all of the decisions that we make, even if it comes down to choosing a brewery to visit, I think is impacted by those feelings and attaching messages and having a purpose with your business. Even if it's just beer, like we have seen many times over the 8.5 years we've done this podcast, that beer can make a difference. And with Black is Beautiful and with Brave Noise, and now Davey's project coming up in October, this cherry triple I can't get out of my mind now that I can't wait to try. I mean, and we've even talked about this as makers of a podcast. Like, we have taken this idea of purposeful podcasting very seriously, especially over the last year. We all have a voice, whether it is a podcast or it is a can of beer on a shelf. And, I think that's brilliant, Ryan, that at such a young age, you're already seeing the importance of that, not just making it recognizable, but putting a message behind that. So cheers to that.
Ryan has been a force. Ryan has been a force in this whole thing. I'm so grateful for him. But I know what you're saying is like building a business, building a movement with a purpose. And I think also aside from that is like we know, like, especially even with the way we consume media and movies and TV shows, like, we know how powerful storytelling is, whether that relates to marketing, whether that relates to TV, whether that relates to books. There's a way to do this, and there's a way to do it with things that we love, like beer. And I think that's what's really cool with us right now is, like, even with all of the advocacy that we do, sometimes the beer is just capturing the story of someone in our community. Right now, some of them are like from my own experiences, and there's stories and essays behind it. And I name those beers. Hazy Dance News is from Some Night in a Club, and like Perfect in PA is about this essay that I call Perfect in Paris. And the whole point of the essay is basically me, that I like traveled around this world, like trying to find my issues in another country or solve my issues and whatever. And all I had to do was just come back home. And so life is perfect in PA, and things like that. And like I mentioned Alondra, I'm trying to think of some of the other beers, but like you'll see in our beer descriptions, you're gonna read the stories. You're gonna read the descriptions of the beer and the hops that are in them, and then you're gonna read the stories of the community. And American Pie, that's another one. My favorite song. It's, just a song that my family and I used to sing all together in the West Reading Diner. That's now the American Diner. And so right when we started, we had the Unreturned Verdict. That's all just inspired from the song. And that's just a representation of our family. And we hope that you can appreciate that. And if, Ryan comes to me, hey, like, this is important to me. This is what I want to name this next beer coming out. I can't drink it, but can we do this? Yes, Ryan. Yes, Kid Genius. Absolutely.
Yes,
so
Kid Genius.
Also, Kid Genius shirts, #Kid Genius shirts are coming, and I hope all of you will buy one.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I love
I'm
that
wearing
idea.
it every day.
And I also just want to comment on Unreturned Verdict as an homage to that song is so classy.
Yeah.
Like, that's such a great name. Unreturned Verdict.
And I was in a bar the other night singing that song at the top of my lungs, enjoying Southern Tears pumpkin beer for their fall. So,
Oh, yes.
And you know what? I'll remember that night. I'll remember that night for a lot of reasons, but I'll remember that night.
Very cool.
Shall we play a game?
Oh,
Is it game time?
I think
A game?
that sounds like a good idea.
Should we play a
Do you
game?
guys want to play a game?
Let's play a game.
I mean, every good podcast has a game.
in the least jigsaw way possible.
just gonna
Would
say
you
that.
like to play a game?
It does sound vaguely threatening. Would you like to play a game?
I'm not gonna lie, games intimidate me, but let's do it. I'm sure I'll make a fool of myself.
Well, this is a pretty simple one with absolutely no stakes.
Yeah.
Cheers, Internet, and welcome to Happy Fun Time Games, the podcast trivia segment that really likes beer. Obviously. We are joined today by Ryan, the Kid Genius, and Davey from Chatty Monks, and they will be competing head with my co-hosts, Dan and Steph, for the Happy Fun Time reward of absolutely nothing. And the manner of that competition today is libation or fabrication.
Oh, boy.
So this is a game in which I will tell you the name of a beer, and you must decide whether that is a real beer or something that I just made up. So, Ryan, you
Okay.
might be at a disadvantage being only 17, but we'll see how it goes.
I might be at a disadvantage because I haven't been traveling. I need my market research. Okay, go on.
I will say that all Happy Fun Time games are meticulously designed to be playable by pure chance.
Yeah.
You can just guess and it's fine.
Yeah, logic and reason have no place.
No, they don't. But we will begin, as we always do, to my left with Dan to
Oh,
guess
boy.
first on our first beer of the game. Is this real or is it fake? This beer is called Barbarian Streisand.
Oh my God!
That's real.
I need
That's
it to be
real.
real. I need that to be real.
Dan's saying that's real. Steph, what do you think?
I will also say real.
Steph is saying real. Ryan.
Who's it
I'm gonna go
named
no
after?
because everybody's going real.
Okay. I like the
mean,
strategy.
see, I've got a question though. Do you know who it's named after? Do you know what it's referencing?
No.
Oh no!
Oh, that's actually surprising. I thought he was going to. Oh my God.
Ryan, take notes though, because the ones that aren't real, they're beer names later.
And Davey, you've already said it's real, so we're going to mark you down for a real.
Yeah.
Ryan doesn't know who Barbara Streisand is, apparently. But it is, in fact, a real beer.
It's Babs, man. How do you not know Babs?
I want to take a picture for Instagram.
Yes.
I'm gonna write that he doesn't know that.
Kid genius, except for mega superstar musicians.
Yeah, well.
You know what, though? My brother is literally the smartest person I know, and he has zero pop culture knowledge at all.
True.
So don't feel bad,
True.
Ryan. Your head is just filled with too many important things. It's okay.
Well, Ryan's also sitting there thinking, like, yeah, you guys all know this, but it's just not relevant anymore. That's what you don't understand.
I mean, you could probably name like a super pop star from right now, and I wouldn't know who.
We're all going to pick on Ryan for being super young for the rest of the podcast.
Well, he
Just a
can turn
warning.
it back on us. We're old.
Just a warning. That's what we do. But yeah, Barbarian Streisand is a real beer. It's a seasonal American pale ale from Cellar Maker Brewing Company in San Francisco.
Pale ale. I would have thought it was a barley wine.
Yeah, you would think it sounds
Yeah,
like
with
it would be
Barbarian.
something, you know,
Yeah.
a little more substantial. But no, a pale ale. I think it was first released in 2016. Not entirely sure, but what I do know is that it's made with Cascade and Sterling hops in the boil, and is dry hopped with Rawaka, Amarillo, and Citra, and it's fermented with a blend of American and English yeasts. So there you go. Barbarian Streisand, a real beer. We are moving on to beer number 2, and moving on to Steph to guess first on this one. This beer is called You've Lost That Lager Feeling.
Is this the theme for?
It's music themed, in
Okay.
case you didn't
All
notice. Is that real or fake?
Oh, I hope it's real.
Steph is saying that one is real. Ryan, I'm sure you don't get this reference either.
I recognize it.
Okay, fair enough.
Lyrics.
Are you saying real or fake?
I'll say real.
Saying real. Okay, Davey.
I don't think it's real.
Okay. Our first fake, Dan.
I'm actually going to say fake as well.
Oh, we've got a 50-50 split. 2 reals, 2 fakes, and the fakes have it. It is
Hey!
fake. It is not real. No.
Not for long.
Not a beer. And to be fair,
Notes.
I had to Google it because I didn't remember who sang that song. It is the Righteous Brothers, in
I don't
case you
think
were
I would've
wondering.
known that
You've
either.
lost that loving feeling. I wouldn't have known that off the top of my head. But it's definitely something we could say about some breweries that have lost that lager feeling. Ethan Buckman, Stickman.
Well, they making.
No, that was the barrels that
Yeah,
that's
those
what we gave him
barrels. They
crap
lost
for.
those barrel feeling.
He lost that barrel feeling. Moving on to our next beer, and Ryan, you're in the hot seat. You're going to guess first. This beer is called Up All Nitro. Is that real or fake?
No, fake.
Fake. He's like, nah. He's just like, no. Davey, real or fake?
That's real.
Saying that is real, Dan.
God, I don't know. I'm gonna go real. I'm gonna say real as well.
All right. Real, and fake so far, Steph.
I don't know. It sounds kind of forced. I'm going to say fake.
Oh, we've got another 50-50 split, but this time the reals have it because it is, in fact, a real beer. Dan and Davey killing it, by the
Yes!
way. Perfect
We got
scores
this.
so far. Excuse me. Yes, Up All Nitro is a coffee stout from Backshore Brewing Company, which longtime listeners may remember from the documentary Blood, Sweat, and Beer, which I think came out in 2015.
Yes,
I
that
meant to
sounds
check
familiar.
my notes.
We
but
still have a can of their beer in the fridge.
we do, because Dan and I stumbled across it when we were in Ocean City recently, not realizing it was that brewery until we were sitting there for like 20 minutes, and we are like, this is the brewery from that
Yeah.
movie.
Yep.
But yeah,
That's
Backshore
awesome.
Brewing. It's in Ocean City, Maryland, right on the boardwalk. Up All Nitro is part of their Nitro series of beers. It is infused with espresso coffee from the local Coastal Coffee Roasters. Didn't have it on tap when we were there.
Yeah, I feel like I would have remembered
Cool.
it
I
if
would
they
have
did.
remembered that one. But
Because
yes,
I probably would have ordered it.
Up All Nitro, in fact, a real beer, which means we are on to beer number 4, and we are on to Davey to guess first on this beer. Our next beer is called Kilting Me Softly.
Come on.
Oh my god. Really?
These are amazing and terrible.
Yep.
Yeah, that one.
That one,
That's real.
It's real?
That's real.
Okay.
That's real.
All right, saying it's real.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, Dan.
David, I want to agree with you, but I think I got to say fake.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Really?
I'm sorry.
Got some contention
I'm
in
sorry.
the ranks here. All right, Steph, what do you think?
I'm going to say real.
Steph is saying real. So again, we've got 2 reals and a fake. Ryan?
I'm gonna say fake.
Oh, we're splitting it 50-50
All right.
again. And once again, the reals have
Ah!
it. Things are changing, mixing up. First question
That's what
Dan's
I get.
gotten wrong.
That's what I get.
Yes, it is real, and it is, of course, a Scottish wee heavy.
What else
would it be?
Yeah.
It couldn't be anything else. It was a massive, massive collaboration beer between 6 Colorado breweries. Those breweries are Westfax Brewing, Landlocked Ales, Green Mountain Beer, Caution Brewing, Great Frontier, and Ironworks Brewery.
I think we talked about this.
It sounded familiar when I was
crap.
doing my
So are we
research.
gonna play the song now or no?
Yeah, yeah.
If we
That's
could
the-
afford that.
Yeah. Making this game, I got songs stuck in my head for hours on end. So yes, Kilting Me Softly, real beer. We are on our penultimate
There's
beer
the
of the
word.
game,
There's the
and
word.
we're swinging back around to Dan because John left us. This
Yeah.
math would have worked if John was still on the call,
I
but
don't- yeah.
Yeah, I thought he said I'll be right back, and then he hung up, and then he just hasn't been back.
well,
It's his loss.
to be
He's
fair,
making s'mores.
yeah,
And,
he had
you know.
literally just arrived in Asheville and was sitting around a campfire with Brandolin. Like, I'd rather not be on the podcast either if I were him, to be honest. So,
I'm still going to
Godspeed,
give him
John.
crap for it.
but we are swinging back around to Dan for our penultimate beer, number 5 of the game. Is this real? Is it fake? This beer is called Engelbert Humperdinck.
Okay,
What?
That's fake. There's no way that's real.
Dan is saying there's no weird way that Engelbert Humperdinck, in case you didn't hear the first time.
I love it, but it can't be real.
Dan saying that's fake. Steph?
Fake.
Steph saying that's fake. Ryan?
Fake.
Everybody's saying fake so far.
Uh-oh.
Finally, Davey. Fake?
No, it's real.
Oh, it's real. It's real. Sorry, your audio cut out. I couldn't hear you. Real. Only one saying real. The only one is wrong because that one is fake.
Oh, we're tied again, Davey.
Humperdinck. Not a beer.
All of them except this one.
Yes, yes. So I want to tell you a little bit of a story about this
Oh,
one.
no.
So I was racking my brain trying to come up with, fake music-themed beer names that don't already exist. I will say, as an aside, I came up with 3 ideas that I thought were original and then Googled, and they already exist. This one, I Googled, and it's not a beer, but it's a Twitter account that was created in 2019 that follows 4 people, has 1 follower, and has not tweeted at all. So there you go.
Good.
Engelbert Humperdinck. So we have 1 question left in the game, and as tradition dictates, I'm going to add up the score real quick and see where everyone stands at the moment. Dan's got 4 points. Steph's got 3 points. Ryan, you've only got 1. You've got a good excuse. And Davey.
That score might go up.
Yeah. Davey also has 4, which means, Ryan, you are in absolute last place. So what that means is for the last question, you get to guess last, because then you get to hear everybody else's answers first. Although there's absolutely no way you can catch up to anyone, so you're going to lose no matter what. But I occasionally give out random bonus points in this game, so who knows? So we'll start with Davey, go to Dan, and then Steph, and end with Ryan. Davey, you're up first. Our last beer of the game. Is it real? Is it fake? It's called Set Fire to the Grain.
Absolutely real.
Absolutely real, Dan.
I think it's real, but I feel like I shouldn't. You know what? I'm okay ending with a tie. It's got to be real.
All right, Dan saying it's real. Steph?
Oh, crap. Well, I think it's real, but I'm going to say fake because that's the only chance I have.
That is true. I like your strategy. Finally, Ryan, it doesn't matter.
Fake.
Right, saying it's fake. That one is real.
Yes.
Yes. That was one of the ones that I came up with in my brain and thought that's pretty clever, and then Googled it and was like, somebody else thought the same thing.
Can I ask about the other ones you came up with that turned out to
Oh,
be real?
God.
Because I came up with one and I don't know. I feel
Set
like it's
fire
real.
to the grain. To everything there is a saison. That exists. And there was another one, but I don't remember what it is.
I thought of Dank Sinatra.
Oh, yeah, that was the other one.
Okay, really?
That was,
Oh, shit.
It was Dank Sinatra, actually. That's how I got to Engelbert Humperdinck. I was like, I need another
man.
dank something. So, yeah,
That's
Set
funny.
Fire to the Grain is real. It's a Polish-style grodziski which is a smoked wheat beer. It's brewed by two Canadian breweries collaborating, Monkey 9 Brewing and R&B Brewing. They did it in December of 2020. They did a socially distanced virtual collaboration, and then they each brewed the beers. They say Set Fire to the Grain has a moderately smoky aroma owing entirely to the predominant base malt of oat smoked wheat. Sounds pretty good. I would like to try it. But
Where is it from?
That is from Canada. I think it was British Columbia. I didn't put the specifics in my note beyond Canada, but I think it was British Columbia.
Smoked lagers, smoked goza are like my new obsession, and so are dry Irish reds, and I'm craving one all week. Smoked goza's in my fridge at home. Haven't come across a dry Irish red, but I'm going to a brewery tomorrow, so
Nice.
we'll see.
I'm confident you will find one. So let's see what our final tally here is, who our big winners and not so big winners are. We have a two-way tie for first place. Dan and Davey, 5 out of 6, almost perfect scores.
We did it.
Very, very good showing. Coming in a little bit behind Steph with 3 out of 5. Not terrible. Could be worse. Could be Ryan, who only has 1 point, but he's also not old enough to drink,
he's got the most valid excuse.
So fair enough. There it is. Congratulations to Dan and Davey. Sorry to Steph and Ryan. It doesn't mean anything.
The sorry or the loss?
No, the sorry means everything. The loss doesn't mean anything.
Just want to be sure.
There's no prize and there's no
phrasing.
punishment. Thank you so much for playing. If you're watching this on YouTube, do the YouTube things. You know what they are. But this is the part of the podcast where we give a shout out to all our most generous patrons on Patreon, donating at a very generous level. We would like to thank Ben Mangle.
Heavy.
Appropriate. Chris Mahoney.
Pizza.
Dana.
I love the taste that's still in my mouth.
Sean Sullivan.
Oh, hey.
Was that John?
Yep.
Oh, my God. PA Brew Review.
Where's your glass?
There he is again. Topher Simmons.
I might have to pee.
And one more. Jill Chivers.
What the hell was that one?
I don't think I've ever heard that sound clip before. Dutch.
Oh, where was he from?
From Pim. Dutch Pim.
Yeah, from...
Mad Chef?
Was it Matt Chef?
Yeah, it was Mad Chef.
Okay.
That's Dutch for Mad Chef.
I'm glad we got there.
What name was I on? Jill Chivers.
All right.
Shout out again, Jill Chivers.
Okay.
We love you. She's cool. She gets 2 shout outs. So does James Lamberg.
It's got a hair at Dutch.
James Lamberg. Eric Dixon.
Sprinter Dan.
Jen McDonald.
It's literally full of couches.
I got to be careful because there's a minor on the call.
Brian.
So many of these are not safe for minors.
Dan,
I think he's all right.
how world worry were you by 17? Like,
do you really want to know the answer to
Ryan's seen some shit. You don't have
Probably.
to. You don't have
That's
to call
true.
him.
Works at a brewery.
And finally, the one and only that is no baloney, Joe Mansell.
We're fucked.
There you go.
Thank you, Joe, man, and all our other generous patrons. If you want to find out how you can get on this list and how you can get other behind-the-scenes perks, you can get access to Last Call, et cetera, go to patreon.com/beerbusters.
Let's settle up.
Let's pay our tab with some commercials.
Say, Yvonne, remember when I said I'd have to send away to NASA to calculate your bar tab?
Oh, yeah. We all had a good laugh, Mo.
The results came back today. You owe me $70 billion.
You ever search for something online and immediately after you hit enter, you think, oh, God, I hope nobody sees what I just searched? That's why you need a VPN. Or maybe look at it this way. You know how uncomfortable it is when you use a public bathroom but the door doesn't lock all the way? And you think, oh, God, at any second, anyone can burst in here and see my private business. Well, ExpressVPN is going to be the lock on the door that never fails you. They are consistently ranked as the #1 VPN in the world. They're the fastest and the most secure and the easiest to use for VPNs. VPNs are just going to protect everything that you do online. Nobody's going to see your credit card information. Nobody's going to see your searches on WebMD for that weird rash that showed up on your foot. All of it is going to be secure. Added benefits are you can stream content from anywhere in the world. You want to watch something from the German Netflix library? Go ahead. You want to watch some British football, soccer, whatever you want to call it? You can do that too. You know those geo-restricted videos on YouTube? Oh, this is not available in your region. Not anymore. You get the last laugh. It's easy to use. It runs in the background on your computer, your phone, your tablet. It only takes 1 click to run. And remember, they are the #1 VPN in the world. It's secure. It's anonymous. Nobody is going to see what you are doing. And all of your information is safe. If you want to see what all of the hubbub is about for a VPN, there's no better way to go than ExpressVPN. And this is why you need to go to tryexpressvpn.com/beerbusters. And when you sign up for a 1-year package through that website, you're going to get 3 months free. That's right. 1 year turns into 15 months. Again, that is tryexpressvpn.com/beerbusters. Protect your searches, transactions, and protect yourself. tryexpressvpn.com/beerbusters.
Well, that was fun.
That was.
As it always
Engelbert Humperdinck.
Engelbert Humperdinck.
You and your... I appreciate those puns.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So we know that you pretty much you hit the ground running now that you're taking the reins of Chatty Monks and you're doing wonderful things, it seems like. And Steph had asked earlier about, what does the future hold? And you'd mentioned, what a couple of years from now has. But what about, like, the near future? What do you guys have coming up shortly?
Yeah. So October 18th, our third Taproom Moods with Double Sunrise Yoga. That'll be available on Eventbrite, and you'll get to shop with Athleta. You get to talk to Orange Theory. You get to enjoy some beer, some appetizers. October 20th, we're launching the I Survived the Narcissist beer, and we'll be rolling out the campaign, talking about different women in the beer industry and their healing. And that will roll out the last week of October. Social media, follow us. Go, Kid Genius. Do your spiel.
So, most places you can find us is Facebook, Instagram. We do have a TikTok now, which we starting up in the near future. All those places you can find us at Chatty Monks Brewing or Chatty Monks. Also Untapped, Chatty Monks Brewing. And I think that's mostly it as far as social media.
I never think to promote our Untapped.
That's a good point.
Toast our chickens on Untapped,
I love
everybody.
how it's the 17-year-old kid that reminds us to...
Right?
You should plug your Untapped account.
About beer.
I mean, you're a beer podcast, right?
I feel like we're learning stuff tonight.
Kid Genius teaches me everything I know.
Yeah, that's a good sign. You
And
should be
he's
proud of this,
interning,
Ryan.
trying to learn from me. Yeah,
I
I don't
will
know
say-
why he's trying to learn from me.
we have a Snapchat for the podcast.
Oh, yeah, I made it 5 years ago.
We don't use it,
I haven't
but we
used
have
it
it.
in 4.5, but it's there.
That's because we're logged into it on Wayne's phone.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, it's not even logged in on my phone
well,
anymore.
all right. It's if you want to follow it and nothing happens, it's Beer Busters Pod.
Is that what it is? I didn't even know that.
I don't know. It's been so long. I don't know. Follow that if it's us. Cool. If it's not, you found a random Snapchat.
Well, everyone knows our logo by now. Like they talk about branding. Well, we use the same logo. So when you search for us, if you see the mug with the orange in it and the black background that's not really black,
It's not actually black.
I don't think I was smart enough to do that when I made the Snapchat.
Oh, Daniel.
Oh, wow.
You had it signed in on your phone at 1.2. You could have been the smart one.
We need a Ryan.
Ryan, do you have any other periods open during the day?
Ryan takes on other clients, but don't take him from me.
We can't afford to pay him.
That's
It's
true.
fine. It's fine.
Snapchat, you can't put a custom logo.
Because it does the code thing.
Well, yeah, and you actually do like... So Snapchat has just like the... I don't know, like the face... Like
the Bitmojis.
The Bitmoji.
Right.
Yeah.
So you can't do a custom... actually, you can now with a public account.
But you have to have like a special... Yeah.
So I didn't mess up. I take it back. I didn't mess up. I tried. And
Yeah.
I couldn't upload
That's
the
all.
picture.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
That you tried.
Yeah.
Gave it
I
your
feel-
best effort.
I feel like now that TikTok has taken off, like I feel like Snapchat is not relevant to businesses or people trying to promote things. So
Or it's more of an exclusive kind of thing.
yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
we should do a Snapchat thing just for our patrons.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea.
You could,
Wayne,
yeah.
log back into it on your phone.
That's a really good idea.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
He is a genius.
Oh, man. Oh, I know what I wanted to ask about, the question that left. I don't think we mentioned it earlier. I think I saw in some of the notes that you guys, you did a collaboration with Collusion recently.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, and then it went Roar. That was one of our also. We've been doing collaborations like crazy. I'm losing track.
No, that's good. That's good.
Collusion. No, that's a good beer, and I know John had a lot of fun making that and hanging out, and I love doing collaborations. I think they're great for business, and I think they're fun for the beer making process. And then especially when people come to the pub, it's a good way, especially if they're from out of town, it's a good way to discover other PA breweries or even us. So yeah, that Then and Went Roar is on tap now at the pub, but we just had our Fall Fest last week on Penn Avenue, so there's limited supply. So check that out.
Awesome. I did want to mention something that unfortunately John's not with us anymore on the call.
I was going to say, what?
I know it sounded
wow.
dark.
Okay.
I realized halfway through that did not sound the way I wanted it to. I will,
especially considering some of our past conversations about John on this show.
That's true. That's true.
No, that's right.
I did want to just say, I know you're probably mostly canning because that's what most people do now, and for good reason. But if you do bottle beers, just remember and tell John this: cork or cap,
not both.
Not both.
Never
Got
both.
it.
That's all I'm saying.
Never.
You
both.
will not listen.
I know.
He's going to do his own thing.
You won't listen? Yeah,
No,
John, I mean,
you
call that.
You can make him listen.
We call that
could,
being.
but I also like John's ideas.
Yeah.
We call that being stemlered.
Yeah.
If you open a beer that has a cap and you unknowingly realize then there is a cork inside of it, that is called being stemlered.
Yep. We had a bottle of blood and guts,
Ryan,
and we didn't know
Ryan, notes, shirt, hashtag.
Yes. Get stemlered. Cap and cork.
Don't get stemlered.
Don't get stemlered.
Careful, kids. Don't get stemlered.
You shouldn't need two tools to open your beer.
What?
That's
Ryan, call me after this podcast. I got another idea.
Oh man.
Oh boy.
Hey, we get some credit.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we're going to promote it back on this podcast at a later point.
Yes.
This is all strategy, guys.
All right.
No, I love working with Ryan because it's like 1 a.m. I can't fall asleep. I'm like coming home from the bar and I'm like, Ryan, and he's like, responds like within seconds. And it's just like, yes, like anytime, all the time. Like it's always fun. Like it's never work. It's always fun.
Ryan, you're a growing lad. You need at least 8 hours of sleep.
No, it's good to have that person that you know is always going to respond no matter what hour it is.
Yeah,
you don't have to
true.
wait.
That's very true.
There's satisfaction in that.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes you have to wait for days.
Yeah, if I text the two of you, it's weeks.
I had a lot going on. My brain wasn't where it should have been.
It's been that way for the last however 30 whatever
it was,
years.
It was legitimate over the past 2 months.
How old are you now?
34.
34 years.
I'm 2 Ryans.
I'm 2 Ryans.
2 Ryans.
Jesus.
That's great.
Let's end this, man.
Yeah. I apologize.
We're
for
on
my
the internet too, Beer
transgressions.
Busters.
Yeah, you know where to go. I mean, more importantly, obviously follow Chatty Monks, but you can find us on the socials and all the fun stuff. And there's patreon.com/beerbusters where we may or may not incorporate Snapchat. Stay tuned. Little as $1 a month gets you access to who knows, among other established things. Anyway. I do want to give you both a very sincere thank you for taking the time and talking to us. It's been a lot of fun, and I can't wait to see what the future has for you. So very sincerely, thank you both.
Thank you. Let's grab beers soon.
Definitely.
Ryan, you can have soda. See ya.
Yeah, you can have root beer.
Right. Thank you, Ryan.
Yeah, and thank you for
go.
teaching us a little bit about social media, too. But unfortunately, this does bring us to the end of another episode of Beer Busters, and I'm very excited to see what happens in the near future. And I'm glad we were finally able to connect with somebody Chatty Monks. It just happens to be a new chapter for Chatty Monks, and it's very exciting to see what'll be coming down the road. But my name is Dan Baker. I am joined by my co-host and brewerologist,
Jeff Hefner.
and of course the demented and fermented
Wayne Baker.
Remember, no squids or baby chicks were harmed in the making of this particular episode. I don't have anything else to say for the next 13 seconds.
You've got 13 seconds, man.
So I will just say thank you for listening.
10, 9.
Leave us a rating review
8,
wherever you go.
7.
Wherever you listen to your podcasts.
5. I skipped 6. 3. 2. 1. You know, we have a MySpace, too.
Oh, shit.